Today we're going to talk about pins. Anybody know what a pin is? Yeah?
It's where you can't move on your pieces or else it'll get taken.
Okay, it's where you can't move one of your pieces. What were you going to say? Okay, perfect. All right, anybody see a way to make an effective pin in this position? Yeah. Use chess notation. That's the best way, right? So tell me in chess language how you win in this position as black. Yeah?
Could move the rook h7 to e7.
Exactly.
That would pin the queen to the king. So if you move to the queen, the king would be in check.
Exactly. So in this position, white would have nothing better than to either sacrifice his queen for the rook or move his king up. So we absolutely can't move the queen away, right? Because then it would be check. So this is a good use of a pin. Yes?
The queen could actually go up and eat the rook.
It's true. But if we eat the rook, then what happens? Then the king captures, and what is this?
Stalemate.
Well, it's not a stalemate, but what's the difference between a stalemate and a draw? Does anybody know? This is kind of similar to the whole rectangle and square thing. Yes?
Well, a stalemate is when you move in a position where the king can't move anywhere without a check. When he's not in check, he's in his position.
Exactly. Okay, stalemate is a position where you can't move anywhere, but you're not in check. And it is a draw. But is that the only way to make a draw in chess, or are there other ways?
There are other ways.
There are other ways, right. So a stalemate is a type of draw. Not every draw is a stalemate. Anybody know some other ways that you can draw besides stalemate? Yes?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
If you lose all your pieces, if both kings lose all their white and black pieces.
Right, like this position. In this position, it's just king versus king. It's not a stalemate, but it's still a draw because neither side can checkmate the other side ever. So in this position, you just shake your hands and you go on to the next game. All right? And now I'm going to go to the next position. Now here there are actually two pins that white can make. Two pins. Let's give everybody else a chance. See if somebody else can figure out the answer. Try to find pins for white. So the reason why we like to pin is because it helps us to win pieces. And if we win pieces, we get checkmate more often. Yes?
Queen to G1.
Excellent. Very good. Queen to G1, and that pins what to what?
Bishop to that.
Right. Bishop to king. So the bishop, once you play queen G1, this bishop cannot move because otherwise it would be what? It would be check, right. So what's the other pin? Anybody find the other pin? Let's find the other pin. Yes, in the green and yellow?
Can't see the board because I'm back.
Okay, why don't you come up closer? There's a seat right there. That's not going to block any camera stuff, is it?
No.
Or okay, yeah. There's a seat right there.
B3.
Queen to B3, excellent. Okay, so between these two, let's have a little vote. How many people would play, so queen B3, and now the rook also can't move because then the king would be in check, right? So good job. How many people in the class by show of hands would play queen to B3? How many people would play the other pin, queen to G1? Okay, so most of you are playing queen B3. Why? Yeah?
Because if you go to G1, the rook can move over.
Well, that could be true in certain situations, like if there was a pawn here or something. But rook G4 here, queen could just take it, right? But you're right that that's what you want to look out for. If there's some way to block the pin, then it wouldn't be as effective. Yes?
The other reason is because it works more points.
Bingo. Right. Very good. Right. The real reason is that if you play queen G1, you're going to win this bishop. If you play queen B3, you're going to win the rook. And the rook is worth how many?
5.
And the bishop's worth?
3.
Okay, so it would be better. Now let's see what we got here. Next game. All right, this is from a very famous game, one of the best games played in many, many years. And I actually did an advanced lecture on this on the that you can find on the St. Louis Chess Club channel. This is a game between the world champion, Anand, and another really strong player. So in this position, black to move and win. So right now you're looking at the game from the very best chess players in the world. Let's see if you can solve what black should have done in this position. Yes, in the back? Hey, I know you. I know you. You're an imposter. You're normally in my intermediate classes. So let's hold off and let some others solve it first. All right, so there's a really strong move for black. Hey there. You can have a seat right up here if you want, or yeah. Up here, there's one seat back there and there's one up here, so whatever you want. You look like very indecisive, like you're deciding which piece to move. It's not a chess problem, don't worry. All moves are equal, okay? Yeah? Very nice, perfect. And now what's pinned in this position? What's the key pin that you're taking advantage of? Why can't this pawn take the queen?
The bishop is in check.
Exactly. So this is a really good one because now this pawn cannot capture the queen. You see, I'm trying to do it and it won't let me. And that's because of this bishop, which is just raking down this diagonal, right? So what would the only move for white be here to play? What can white do? Yeah?
White can move king.
Yes, white can move the king, and then what would happen? Then we have a very typical checkmate, a checkmate that we see all the time, yes?
Oh, you move the queen, and she eats the
Mm-hmm.
pawn, and then it's check.
It's not just check, but it's checkmate, right?
Yeah.
Excellent. It's checkmate because you got the queen right against the king, and the queen is protected by what?
The bishop.
The bishop. So this is a very common checkmate, this queen right against the king mate, yes?
I did that to my brother.
Oh, very good. I'm sure your brother doesn't like it as much, but good job. And there's actually one more checkmate in this position.
Another way.
There's another one, yes. There is one more way.
Queen to
Mm-hmm.
H1.
Not H1. I think you know what. I think you got the right move, but you're. You might want to sit up closer because you seem like you have trouble seeing. You can just slide a chair on up closer if you'd like. Yes.
H2.
Queen H2 is also checkmate. Even though the queen is not directly in front of the king, this is very effective too because the only escape square is covered by what?
The knight.
Right, the escape square is covered by the knight, and the queen is also protected by the knight. All right, somebody likes queen H2 better. So, good job, guys. So everybody see that? Queen takes H3, check. So that's how the world champion won one of the very best games of his career. So the fact that you guys found it too is pretty awesome. Now, here's another good, this one's not checkmate, but white has a really good move here to take advantage of a pin.
Ooh.
Try to find the good move for white here.
Ooh.
White has a good move. You can see that there's some interesting pins. Yeah?
The white bishop could take the black's pawn and would make.
Well, that's good that you noticed. You noticed the key thing in the position, that this bishop is very strong on this diagonal, right? So this pawn, can this pawn move? This pawn here? No, it's pinned by the bishop. So look at the whole rest of the board and see what that means. If this pawn is pinned, what's unprotected? Mm-hmm. Uh-huh, okay. But what specifically is unprotected? There's a point that this pawn right here protects. I think somebody sees it. A couple people see it. Yes.
The pawn.
Okay, so what would you do?
So I would take the bishop and eat the
No, that's what he suggested, and then the king can recapture, so you got better. Is that what you were going to say?
No.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say queen captures g6.
Very good. Queen captures g6, and you see that's very similar to last time. Can this pawn take the queen?
No.
Nope. And so the king instead just has to move, and then we get to capture what?
Knight.
Yes, we're going to capture the knight. Next move we can capture that, and white is just winning all the pieces.
With the bishop, it wouldn't let you capture the pawn.
We could also capture the pawn. That's also going to be very strong. Yeah. Good. Okay, now this one's white to move and win. This one's just a one mover. So white to move and win in one move. Try to find it. I want to see at least half the class with their hands up. Try to look at the pieces that are pinned in the position, and that will help you find the right move. Okay, good. Good, good, good. Anyone else? Anyone new who hasn't answered any questions yet? Oh, it looks like that you got the answer too right there, huh? In the green? Started clapping. It's hard for 1-year-olds to solve mates.
He's at 5 months old.
5 months? Oh, okay, sorry. That's even harder. Is that your brother? Okay. Yeah, and what do you think? What is it?
B2.
Queen where? What?
B2.
No, not B2.
I got it.
I can't, Queen B2 doesn't really do that much. I know you have it. You look so happy. I can tell by how happy you are that you have it. Sit down, sit down. Sit down. Yeah. Got it?
I'm trying to figure out how could.
Okay, so try to see what piece is pinned in this position. Let's identify that first. What piece is pinned? Which piece cannot move? Do you know? Right there? No, right behind you. In the black shirt with the skeleton. Is that a skeleton? Okay, but try to figure out which piece is pinned. Which piece can't move? Yes. This knight can't move, right? Because if this knight moved, what would it be?
Check.
Right? It would be check. So because that knight can't move, any square that knight defends is not really defended, right? Okay, quiet down. Now I'm starting to regret my sitting you up in the front. Let's see. Okay, it seems like a lot of people got it. Yes, in the pink and the white bow.
You can take the bishop and attack.
You mean, no, you got better than that. You got better. Okay, settle down and I'll call on you. Settle down. Yes?
Queen to F2.
Not F2. But
Oh, yeah, I mean F7.
Queen to F7 is checkmate. Look at that. It's the queen right against the king. The queen is defended by what? Bishop. And why can't this knight take the queen? Pin, right. Very good. Okay. And now, what would white do here? How do you pin here? Find a good pin here. Sometimes you pin not just to checkmate, but to win pieces. So here you can win a piece with a good pin.
Oh,
you-
I got it.
Try to find a pin. You want to make it so that if your opponent moves a piece, you can capture. In the blue. Yeah.
D6.
Bishop to D6?
Yeah.
Well, if you play bishop to D6, he can take us. Yeah, in the orange?
Rook to D1.
Rook to D1, excellent. And now if you play rook to D1 and they play bishop takes bishop, you get to play what?
You get to rook capture game.
And that's even better than just winning 5 for 3, because next move, white is going to play what? Like say black now plays bishop back. Now how do we follow this up with the quickest win? So we did a pin to win that rook, and now what piece is pinned? Now another piece is pinned. Can you see what piece is pinned now? In the red jacket, yeah. What's pinned now? See what this rook is doing up here? What piece is it pinning? What piece can't move? Yes, very good. So this bishop is pinned. Now, if you have a pinned piece, what we see is we keep on putting pressure on the pinned piece. So how can you put pressure on the pinned piece now? How can you put pressure on the pinned piece?
Oh.
Oh.
Wait, no.
Yep.
Bishop to d6.
Bishop to d6, exactly. That puts pressure on the pinned piece. And now, next move, you're just going to take this off, and that will be what? Checkmate, exactly. So very good.
Why mate? The pawn was there.
Yes, very good. Now what would you do with black here?
Ooh, got it.
Now it should get easy. You see, that's how it works. The more you work on one pattern, the easier it gets as you look at different examples of the same pattern.
Oh, got it. I got it.
Pin and win, yes? Yes, anyone over here? This side of the room? Yes?
Oh, white's bishop could.
No, it's black to move, sorry. Black to move.
Oh.
Sorry, I guess I didn't tell you that, guys.
I think it was.
I did tell you? Okay, good. Thanks for watching out.
You didn't tell me that. And then why could I have a very good rule already?
It's black's move, not white's move. Black's move. Yep.
Oh.
The bishop on e5.
You got better. Bishop on e5 takes this bishop. The knight will take back, and everything will be relatively cool. Zeev?
Queen to f2.
So queen to f2, and now why can't I take back with the bishop?
Because the bishop on e5 will be checked.
Exactly, because the bishop e5 is pinning this bishop, so we can go to the square, and then when the king moves, now what do we do? Somebody else? What do we do now to take advantage of yet another pin? Now which piece is pinned? Which piece is pinned now? Which piece can't move? Yes? The rook can move without any horrible cost. The bishop can move as well because now the king is moved away, so the bishop could take the queen if it was white's move. Yeah, that's true. This bishop can't really move to too many squares, but there's not really a way we can take advantage of that now. But I'm talking about actually a different piece, which if it moves, this queen will fall. Yes? Yes, this knight, if this knight moves, this queen will fall, right? So what should black do in that case? Not take the knight, because then the bishop or the queen could take back. But what is the knight protecting?
The bishop.
Nope. The knight is protecting this bishop here, right?
Yeah.
So that means that we can just play bishop takes bishop, right? And now if the knight takes, what happens? You play what? What would you take here? Yes? Exactly, we take the queen because the queen is worth how many points? Okay, good. The queen is worth a lot, so that would be a really good finish. And then meanwhile, what are we threatening here? What would black's next move be? Yeah, what would black's next move be? Do you know? Okay, what do you guys, we'll try to figure it out. What do you think black would do if it was black's move in this position?
Oh, got it.
What? Oh, well, you got to get closer then. You got to be able to see it. You can sit on the floor if you want, or you can bring a chair over closer.
Yeah, don't be afraid to reposition yourself.
Yeah, you got to be able to see it. Otherwise, it's not. Gray shirt in the back.
Queen to h2.
Exactly. Queen to h2. It's very similar to that mate that we looked at earlier, right?
But it won't let you.
Yeah, because it was white's move. If queen to h2 here, it's checkmate because this queen is protected by what? Exactly. You got to remember this checkmate. This is very typical. Okay, now this takes advantage of both the last class that we had on double attack, which is also known as what? What's another word for double attack? Fork. Very good. So this is going to take use of fork and pin, and that happens a lot in chess. That there's a combination of themes when you get a position. So what's the move here for white? White to move. Relax. White to move and win. Making use of a pin and the double attack. White to move, yes. You said it's so simple?
Yeah. Hard.
Not everybody's got it yet.
Simple. So simple.
All right, let's give everybody else another minute. And you two, I know you two got it. Do you have it in the pink sweatshirt? What you got? No, not queen h3. We can't get to h6 here, right? If we could, it would be nice to get our queen right near the king, because that would help us checkmate, right? But we've got to move here that directly wins some material, right? And when I say win material, it means that we're going to be gaining more pieces than our opponent will. More points, more valuable pieces, or more pieces? More valuable in this case. Excellent. Yes, okay, yes.
Knight to d5.
Knight to d5. Okay, why is that a fork? What does that attack? What are the two things that attacks when we double attack, yeah? Very good, the rook and the queen. And why is it a pin? Why is it making use of a pin, yes?
The pawn can't capture the knight, or the rook will take the rook on e7.
Exactly. If the pawn captures, the rook will capture on e7. And again, a rook is worth?
5 points.
And the knight is only worth?
3.
So we've made how many points?
2.
Yes. So, and not only that, it's not all about points, because you never win in chess by having more points than your opponent. But you can also see our rook is very strong. We're attacking f7. We're attacking d7. So this will be easy for white to win if you don't make any big mistakes.
And you can use the rook to e8.
Yes, we can try playing rook e8 at some point. Now this one's a little harder. Black to move. How can you make use of the pin in order to win material or win pieces? Black to move. Black to move. Okay, we know you got it. You're getting a lot of pieces. You're getting a lot of questions right. I'm going to have to match you up against Zeev in the play period. But try to identify which piece is pinned and then attack it. That's the idea. If a piece is pinned and you attack it and it can't move, you get to capture the piece. So that's the whole point, right? So first figure out which piece is pinned and then attack it. So which piece is pinned? Yeah?
Knight.
The knight on d4, very good. If the knight on d4 were to move, what would fall? What? No. Yes, the queen, right? This queen would capture that queen, and that's the most valuable piece on the board. So, yes?
But the bishop could take the
The bishop could take the knight, but then what could recapture it?
the pawn.
The pawn would recapture it, or the queen, and either way, white would not lose material, right? So instead of that, in the blue shirt in the back, I haven't heard from you yet. Yeah?
If you took the knight with the queen, if the bishop took the knight and you took the bishop with the queen, then black's queen would be able to take the queen right back.
True, but then we could also, very good, that's all true, but then after the queen captures back, what could white do?
Capture the pawn.
Capture with the pawn, and then the material is what?
Say 1, 2, 3 more levels.
Right, so I mean white's up one pawn, but nothing too scary. So black has much better in this position. Yeah, what do you think?
E5.
Uh-oh, e5. Now you're attacking the pin piece, but what's the problem with that move? So this knight can't move, or the queen will fall. But what has black forgotten about? Now white has a really good move. That's why when you play chess, you got to look at the whole board, right?
Take the queen.
Right, this bishop can capture this queen. So even though this knight was pinned, what else was pinned?
That pawn.
Oh.
Queen.
Right, this pawn was pinned also. So if black wants to win material in this position, he has to figure out something more clever. So instead of moving this pawn right away, first, hey, let's relax. Relax, don't call out. So instead of playing e5 right away, black has to set it up so that white can't play bishop takes queen. How do we do that? Yes? We could move the queen, but then we want to be more forcing than that, because if we move the queen, like say we move the queen here, now maybe white will just play rook d1 and now his queen is defended, right? So we want to try to get it done right away. Yes? In the orange?
F6.
At this pawn to f6?
Yes.
But then again, maybe something like rook d1 so that when you play e5, we move the knight. And we're protected. Anyone else? How do we break this pin? Yes?
You could just move the bishop to F5.
No, well, again, if you play bishop e5, f5, I like that idea, because if I play knight takes f5, now you do what? Queen takes queen, right? Very good idea. But I don't have to accept this. Instead, I could maybe go back here, and now my knight is protected and my queen is protected. So how do we stop this pin? How do we, with attack? How do we make it so that this bishop is no longer pinning this pawn? How do we interfere between that? Yes? You got it?
To F6.
No, f6 was already suggested. Similar, but a better execution. Gray shirt in the back? Yeah? Excellent. Very good. And now the bishop has to go where? Where does the bishop have to go if it wants to move out of attack? If it wants to move out of attack, where does the bishop have to go? G3. And then now what can black do? Now that the bishop is no longer on this diagonal. Now that the bishop is no longer in this diagonal, we can actually attack the pinned piece, right? Right. Mm-hmm. Yes, e5. And now we're gonna win this knight, right? Because if the knight moves, we get to capture the queen. And so let's do one more here. This one's white to move, and this is a really cool move because there's lots of pins. But first I want you to tell me about all the different pins in this position. What is white pinning? Because there's multiple pins here. Somebody's like got a keychain in there. Okay. Thank you. Whoever was doing it stopped it. All right. So it's white to move. What are the pins in this position? Yes? Well, no. But first I'm asking you what the pins are. Which pieces can't move? Which pieces are pinned? There are two different pins here. I find them. Which pieces are pinned down and can't move?
I found it.
Yes? Try again? No, this pawn is not pinned. This pawn can move. It's two pieces. You see a piece that's pinned?
The rook.
Very good. This rook cannot move because if this rook moved, it would be what?
Check.
Check, right? Good. What else? No, the pawn on g6 can't move, but it's not exactly pinned. It's just blockaded, right? It's blockaded by this bishop.
The bishop on F8.
Exactly. The second one is that bishop on f8. It can't move because, again, what would it be?
Check.
Very good. So what can white do in this position?
White can take the rook.
What's that? So what can white do here?
Oh, I know.
So how can white take advantage of both pins? It's not that simple.
It's so on the side.
Bishop to E7.
Wow, that's excellent. Very, very good. Bishop e7, and now this bishop can't take because of rook takes king, right? Or check. Obviously, you can't take the king, but it would be check. And if this rook would take, then what?
No,
It'll be check.
Again, it would be check. So now, what's white's next move going to be? Yeah?
Rook to f8.
Rook just captures f8, and we're going to win the queen because you're not going to be able to take with the rook.
So many arrows.
That is a lot of arrows. Sorry.
I can't see anything. Unless he moves his king.
Okay, I can get rid of all the arrows magically. See, they're all gone.
Yay!
And now rook takes f8, and things are really bad.
There's a solution. Losing his queen.
I wanted to show one more, and then we're done. We'll play some games.
Yay! These timers are hard to use. Still?
All right, this one I've got white to move and win, and this one I want one of the girls in the class to answer because I've got a special prize for you. I've got a copy of my book. It's called Play Like a Girl. It's with tactics just by girl players. If you don't win it, we have some upstairs. But this one, white to move and win, for one of the girls in the class. Sorry, boys. This is for the girls. So, white to move and win.
Did the boy get a prize?
Not today, but you will get one soon.
I need to
We get what?
get mom here so I can tell her.
What's that? Girls, you had your hand up first. Got it? Get one chance.
Is it a pin or is it?
It's a pin.
Okay.
Pin and win. I'll give you a hint. We want to try to win the queen in this position because it's the most powerful piece, and white no longer has a queen, right? So we want to try to figure out a way to win the queen. Yes?
If you move like the knight to 5.
You want to play knight e5? That's a good idea, but you've got a more direct way because now it's black's move, so black can do something like move his king out of danger. So we want to really do it immediately. Yes? What's that? If we play rook c5, what will black be able to do?
Capture.
Right, captured with this pawn. Exactly. So otherwise that would be a good move. Okay, yes?
Bishop c4.
Bishop c4, excellent. And now the king can't move because if the queen can't move because if the queen moves, what is it? See, it's not letting me, right? Then the king on g8 would get captured. And if the queen captures on c4, the rook just captures the queen, right?
Even.
Very good. Okay, well, you win a copy of the book. And good job, everyone. You all did really well today.